Intuitive. February 26, 2015. Beloved ones, let us have discourse on the quality of love known as intuitive. As one's life becomes more dynamic and less structured, being intuitive gains more and more recognition as an essential decision-making tool. Many decision makers are able to directly recognize the best option or course of action to take in many tricky situations. The solution just suddenly comes to them from somewhere in their subconscious mind and rises to the surface in perfect timing and synchronicity. The intuitive mode of thinking is a process that is dominated by a person's subconscious mind, even if they use their conscious mind to formulate the outcome of the final results. The information they receive is processed in a way where they see the situation more as a whole picture rather than in fragments and sense that something does not feel right, even though there is no clear logic to prove that. The intuitive process works as an advanced pattern recognition tool utilizing one's emotions to bring a message that comes as their inner voice. The intuitive process will help one to navigate faster through unstructured data and can work around gaps and conflicts in the readily available information. Yet, even the intuitive process can be misled if too many of one's facts are wrong or missing. One is guided to pay attention to their emotional state. When a person is stressed or in a negative mood, their true inner voice will be distorted or lost in the background of their strong negative feelings. Removing the clutter in one's mind, just as one clears old data from one's computer system, is a very important step in the intuitive process. The intuitive process is an incredible source of wisdom that everyone can tap into. Awakening it within oneself and trusting its guidance in one's life can bring in the magic of tapping into instinctive and unconscious knowing. The intuitive process is an amazing source of creative power, wisdom, and understanding. It transcends the realms of experience, deduction, and reasoning ability. Intuitive decision-making is far more than just using common sense because it involves additional sensors to perceive and get aware of the information from outside. The intuitive process becomes increasingly valuable in the new information society one lives in, because there is so much data one must sift through before making the right choice and decision. Each individual has an innate ability to be intuitive with people that they truly love, but they have to trust that inner voice, for the power of their intuitive understanding serves to protect them and their loved ones from harm throughout their lifetime. It is an alternative source of knowledge, level of awareness, and inner voice. By letting their thoughts roam, being open to the ideas and solutions that come to them, people are connected with a greater knowledge that is helpful to them. The intuitive process usually communicates its guidance to a person through symbols, feelings, and emotions. In order to increase one's intuitive abilities, one must pay attention to what is going on around them and be open to all incoming information with no judgmental opinion. The more data and information they absorb from their environment, the more their subconscious mind has to work with when they have to make an important decision. Likewise, knowledge and understanding gained from one's experience contribute to the quality of insight provided by their intuition. It is important to remember that the subconscious mind communicates information to the conscious mind through one's intuitive process. One's intuitive process reveals itself in thought flashes or inspiration. The key is for the individual to take notice, for the more one pays attention, the more of these flashes they will experience. By listening and making sure to pay attention to the hints and clues one receives, they can avoid unpleasant circumstances and situations. When an individual takes time to write or journal, they tap into thoughts, feelings, and ideas they are not typically conscious of. This is an excellent way to release any inner messages, insights, or subtly hidden knowledge about a situation or problem that requires solving. In the intuitive process, there is an experience of wholeness that occurs during the experience itself. At the moment an individual is receiving a message from their intuitive faculties, they perceive a variance from their usual sense of self, and momentarily transcend that typical state into a type of mystical state which might be termed knowingness, with the content of awareness being that of the intuited idea. There is an unexplainable leap into a new insight, as the idea comes out of the blue, spontaneously, instantly, involuntarily, and effortlessly, a natural knowing without knowing how one knows. The contents delivered into consciousness come from layers of the mind that are hidden from ordinary awareness. The intuitive process is a bridging function that brings the power of the unconscious into conscious thought. The key to developing one's intuitive faculties is to trust the process, trust self, and trust one's experience. Finely tuning sensitivity to both inner and outer processes provides more information and expands intuitive knowing. Having the willingness to face self-deception and to be honest with self and others is essential and is a major step in the awakening of one's intuitive faculties. Intuition flourishes in silence. Learning to quiet the mind is part of the process of awakening intuitive faculties. Various meditative practices are useful in learning to maintain the necessary inner silence. Sensitivity to energy awareness and the quality of each experience is particularly useful. Nonverbal expressions such as writing, drawing, music, movement, and other forms of creative activities are done in a spirit of play, rather than for the purpose of goal-oriented achievement. These activities provide excellent channels for activating intuitive, right hemisphere functions. Being open to all personal experiences, both inner and outer, gives an individual's intuitive faculties the space it needs to develop fully. One's willingness to experience and confront their fears will facilitate the expansion of their intuitive faculties. Acceptance of things as they are, including self-acceptance, allows the intuitive process to function freely. Opening one's heart to feelings of non-judgmental love and compassion allows one to see into the nature of things. Emotional empathy and intuitive identification are facilitated by these qualities. Intuitive awareness grows with daily attention. If an individual discounts or neglects this faculty most of the time, and only wants it to perform for them occasionally, it may not respond. Intuitive awareness is already within each person, but to awaken it, one has to value it and intend to develop it by making a space for its unfolding in one's personal life. Keeping a record of intuitive flashes, hunches, insights, messages, and images that come to mind spontaneously at any time of the day or night can help stabilize and validate them. May you enjoy the creative resources of the intuitive process based on the intrinsic satisfaction of expanding your consciousness. I am Archangel Gabriel. Channeled by Marlene Switless-Hoftsutana, Keeper of the Symphonies of Grace. www.therainbowscribe.com www.movingintoluminosity.com